Okay, friends, our next topic, negative numbers. Now, some of you might be rolling your eyes at even the mention of that phrase. And if you look back in history, you wouldn't be alone in feeling kind of overwhelmed by it. The Egyptians, 4,000 years ago, showed us that they could build an entire civilization on numbers that were positive. Sure, they had a symbol for the idea of the number 0, but they had a hard time dealing with it, mostly because they were a farming culture. And when you're farming in fields, you don't need to talk about things that are 0, or worse, less than 0. They weren't the only culture that had a problem with the idea of nothing either. The Greeks wrestled with the idea, how can nothing be something? Doesn't make sense, right? Now, with the benefit of hindsight and a couple thousand years in the future, we can look back and say, you know what? We do need the idea of 0 and negative numbers. And one of the earliest commentaries I can find is a guy named Francis Maceres, who had a very, very dire sounding take on negative numbers. But then interestingly, he also wrote a book about annuities, which is a type of thing you'll study in Math 105 about investments. And if you look at the second chapter of that book, check it out. Aha! Even though Maceres' own words talk about how awful negative numbers are, there they are. We have to deal with them. And guess what? They're not that bad once you dive in. So let's do it.